Wow, is this delicious. Absolutely delicious. Monkey bread pizza. That look good or what? We're going to learn how to make it right here, right now. Hi guys, and welcome to How's It Rate. My name's Chico and I'll be your host today. Today we're going to make something new. We're going to make a monkey bread pizza. So the first thing we need to do is obviously to make our dough, and I've got the ingredients here. You're going to need a scale to do this. Reason being is because when baking, the best procedure is to use a scale so that all the measurements are consistent and accurate. Cups, teaspoons, things like that, just don't cut it. There's too much variation in how one measures the ingredient, how much moisture content it has, and so on. So what I've got here today is my trusty old KitchenAid mixer, which I've had for 25 years or so. And for the first ingredient, we have flour, and there's 1 pound, 12 ounces of flour, and I have 1 pound of water, just regular old tap water. I have 6 ounces of salt and 6 ounces of sugar and 2 packets of dry yeast. This is active dry yeast. I know it's fresh, so I'm not going to have to proof it. And if you're curious about the weight, each one of these packets is 1/4 ounce. So 2 is going to equate to 1/2 ounce of yeast. I'm just shaking it down, make sure it's all at the bottom. So the first ingredient we want to add is our flour. And I'm going to take our bowl here, and I'm going to try not to make a mess. And I'm going to put in my 1 pound, 12 ounces of flour. And I spilled a tiny bit here. It probably equates to about 1/2 ounce. The table's clean, so I'm just going to pick that up and throw it in there. So there's our flour. And then I'm going to add our salt, which is 6 ounces, our sugar, which is 6 ounces, and our yeast. And you've noticed that I'm putting all this in dry, not making a big deal out of it. The yeast, as I said, I know is fresh, so it doesn't need to be proofed. And I'm going to pour that in there. And then I'm going to put this on my KitchenAid mixer. Okay, lower the bowl. And I'm going to get my dough hook. And I'm going to put that on there. Make sure it's on good and tight. And that's all there's to that. Now I'm going to lift the bowl up, lock it into place, and I'm going to turn the mixer on and mix the flour, the salt, the sugar all together. Just let it mix for a second. And then we're going to add our water gradually. And you don't want this mixer to be on high speed because the flour will fly out everywhere. So I'm just going to add my water gradually. And this is just room temperature water. Pretty warm. And that's it. So there's our 1 pound of water, which by the way equated to just slightly less than 2 cups. So either the you would think that 8 and 8 would be 16 ounces, but it really doesn't work that way. A pound, what's the old saying? A pound is a pound, the whole world around. Well, it doesn't really work that way. So best thing, use a scale. So we're going to let this mix just for a bit here. And after it's done mixing, I'm going to take this bowl off the machine with the dough hook, separate the dough hook out, and then I'm going to just lift the dough out and make a ball and put a very little bit of oil at the bottom of this bowl and put the dough back in and get it coated with the oil. It's a very, very, very little amount of olive oil. At that point, I'll cover it with some saran wrap, plastic wrap, and what I'll do is I'll take a wet towel, not too awful wet, but you know, pretty wet, and put it in the microwave oven for 1 minute, and I'm going to heat that towel for 1 minute. And then I'm going to take this whole bowl with the plastic wrap on it, and I'm going to set it in my microwave oven with the door closed with that hot towel in there. And what I'm going to wait for it to do is double in size. And once that's doubled in size, that'll be our first rise, and we can play with the dough at that point. Okay, at this point, our dough has mixed, it's all kneaded, and what we're going to do is we're going to shut it down, and we're going to take our dough off the hook. It's a nice consistency, not too sticky, not too dry. Alrighty, and we'll just slide that off of there, and you can see it comes off pretty easily. And that's that. We've got our nice dough, and what I'm going to do is take just a little bit of olive oil. This is just regular olive oil. This one happens to be a classic Pompeian olive oil. So I'm going to lift this out of the bowl for a moment, and I'm going to put in a little splash. Okay, then I'm just going to form this into a ball by turning it into itself, if you can see that. Okay, and I'm just going to seal that end up, and I'm going to put it in my bowl, and I'm going to rock it around a little bit so that it gets covered with the olive oil. Okay, and that's it. So at this point, I'm just going to cover it with a little saran wrap and put it into my oven, which has the hot towel has already gone through its 1 minute cycle. And we'll see you soon. Hi everyone, we're back, and our bread has risen. It has doubled in size, as you can see, and it's been doing that for about an hour. So that's how long it takes. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this out and cut it up into little pieces, and then we're going to add our mixture of my homemade tomato pizza sauce, 1/3 of a cup of oil, 1 tablespoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of crushed red pepper, 2 cups of mozzarella cheese, and 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. Now, in addition to this, you could add some pieces of pepperoni. Slice it, and then maybe cube it up in little pieces. Not thick ones though, just a regular thin slice, and then cut that up a little more. Or for that matter, you could leave them as little slices, just like you would find on a normal pizza. So I've got everything ready here. I've got my pizza pan, deep dish pizza pan, which I'm going to use for this, and I've sprayed it with some release spray, such as Pam or any other brand. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our dough and start pulling it apart. Got my other bowl here, which is going to be necessary. So let's get going. Okay, we're going to pull out our dough. Oh boy, smells good. Smells like a good pizza dough, and you can see it's nice and soft, and boy, that rose nicely. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take our knife and we're going to cut some pieces, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to take a piece about that big. If you can see that, see it in my palm. I'm going to roll it into a little ball. Alright, and I'm just going to set that aside for a moment. And we'll do the same thing to the other one. And this is what you're going to do with this dough, is you're going to take it and cut it into chunks. like that. And just take a knife, cut them up, and roll. Alright, and I don't want to bore you with this, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our big bowl here, and we're going to add that 1/3 cup of olive oil to it. Okay, that's the end of that. And we're going to throw these balls right in there, right into the olive oil as we roll them. So I'll do a couple more just to show you. And throw them in there. Now these don't have to be perfectly round balls. I mean, you could take and just cut them apart like this, but I like to make them into little balls. I just think it comes out better. And I mix them up a little bit. You know, they're not going to stay perfectly round, but we want to get them covered with the oil. Alright, so you can see they're in there. And all I do is just mix them a little bit, make sure they have the oil on them so they don't stick together too much. You get quite a few out of this amount of dough. Normally, this would be enough dough to make 2 pizzas in that pan. In that deep dish pizza pan, and it wouldn't be a deep dish pizza, it would just be regular pizza. By the way, that pan works really well. The secret to it is to season it correctly when you first get it. That's also listed on my website at howsitrate.com, and there's a link there so that you could get to it. And by the way, if you like my videos, please subscribe. I put a video up every Sunday and every Wednesday, God willing. And if you'd like to be notified, the best way to be notified about it is to just hit the subscribe button. And that way you'll know when a new video is posted. Also, if you like the videos, please just put a like in there so I know whether you liked it or not. There's also a dislike button. I would hope you didn't use that. And also post a comment or a question. I would be more than happy to try to answer it in a short period of time, as quickly as possible. How's that? Alright, we're almost done here rolling up our little dough balls. And this same dough can be used to make Italian bread, and if you'd like to know how to do that, just leave a comment below and I will do a video on making Italian bread. Loaf, the kind you get in the store, the good stuff in the Italian bakery store, not that stuff that they pawn off that's like cotton. No way, don't like that. We like a nice artisan bread. Alright, I'm just going to stir these up one more time. Nothing crazy, I don't want to wreck them, but I do want to get them coated. Alright, you can see they're staying separated with the oil. Now the next thing I like to put in there is my crushed red pepper. Sprinkle that right around. My oregano. Remember, that was 1 tablespoon of each. You can add as much as you like. These are your creations. Nobody's going to tell you what you can and can't put in there. Like I said, you could put pepperoni in here. You could put diced onions. You could put peppers. You name it. Alright, you can see that that's been spread pretty good there. Alright. Now we're going to add our 2 cups of my homemade pizza sauce. We're going to mix that up a little bit. Okay. You can see that's mixed up nicely. And then we're going to take our cheese and dump that in there. 2 cups of mozzarella and 1 cup of Parmesan. And we're going to mix that up. Get that all thoroughly mixed up. Okay, you can see what it looks like there. Pretty easy to do. Alright, then I'm going to take my pan, and I know this is unusual, because the sauce and everything, the cheese is going to end up on the bottom. And yes, it is going to get nice and crusty. It's a whole different thing than a regular pizza. And we're just going to take this and we're going to dump it right in here. And we're going to spread these around so that we cover the entire pan. Just like that. Nothing to it. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to put this in the oven, but I'm not going to turn the oven on. It's a warm oven, alright? What I do is just warm it up with, turn it on for about 2 minutes, let it get warm in there, about 80-90 degrees. Put this in there and let it set for about a half hour. Alright? So that's what we're going to do, and I will be back shortly. Hi there. It's been about a half hour since we placed our monkey bread pizza in the warm oven. Approximate temperature about 80 to 90 degrees. And now we're going to take this. You can see that it's puffed up a bit and it's absorbed some of the liquid that was in there. Again, the pan was well greased, so we shouldn't have any issues with sticking. The oven has been preheated to 375 degrees. Alrighty guys, there's our monkey bread pizza right out of the oven. Looks pretty good, eh? Now, we're just going to get this out of the pan. We should be able to do that hopefully easily. Get a spatula, or a spatula. Try and get it under the pizza, and it just wants to come right out. So what we're going to do is just grab a chunk of it. As you can see, it's very, very hot. Actually, a thong might work better here, but and you can see it's extremely hot. I'll be right back. Got a different tool. And you can see that it hasn't stuck to the pan at all. It's just so nice and soft and gooey. Wow, does that look good? Let's have a little taste. Incredible smell. Incredible taste. This would be great for a party. As I say, the cheese is kind of crusty on the bottom where it touched the hot pan. Almost got away from me. This is really good. Now you can change a lot of things about this recipe, but you can't change the bread dough recipe. Everything else you can adjust. You can add a little more oil if you want. I wouldn't do that in this particular case, but you could add more cheese. You could add fresh sweet peppers, hot peppers, pepperoni, salami, just about anything you want. But that's what it should look like when it comes out of the oven. Now you got to remember, I started picking at this was when it was scalding hot. If this cools just for a second, it will come out of this pan. And you can see that it filled the pan right up. That was just the right amount of dough for one of these pans. If you want one of these pans, just go to my website. That website is under construction, but there is a link to get the pizza pan, or one like it, or you can shop around locally, but at least get an idea what you're looking for. It'll give you all the dimensions and everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you try and make this because I think you really will like it a lot. And if you like it, give me a like, and hope you subscribe, and we'll see you soon. You take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.